All right, time to get down to August the 14th podcast, the GLOAT Podcast, episode 25, ladies and gentlemen, of the GLOAT Podcast, ladies and gentlemen. And with only 3 or few topics, ladies and gentlemen, I will report this out, ladies and gentlemen, because I've been taking a break from watching boxing right now. I've been taking a month off right now. Well, probably a full month off after Terrence Crawford and his win, and ever since a few days after the Olympic Games ended. I will report this to everything else, guys, because I'm not here to talk about boxing. I think boxing is too much for me to keep talking about this on YouTube. It might get boring, and I don't want people to think it's getting boring. But I will report this, ladies and gentlemen, to the public right now. I will report this that on September the 3rd, TJ Doheny, 26-4, is going to retain out to fight for the Super Bantamweight Championships of Naoya Inoue. What's actually interesting, guys, I looked up on BoxRec as of a couple minutes ago before making a couple hours ago before trying to make this video. And when I say a couple minutes ago, YouTube channel The Iceberg, or an hour ago, which was uploaded, but I got this recommended notification 5 minutes ago, an hour after he uploaded this, stated that he made a video about Austin Dillon. But we'll talk about that just a bit. I try to look up boxing right now, and it actually, from all the championships that Naoya Inoue won when he defeated Paul Butler and all other boxers, the WBA belt, the WBA championship belt in BoxRec has disappeared. Why is the WBA championship belt disappeared? Also, what about the WBF belt? Guys, the WBF World Championship belt in BoxRec is still there. Like it says, we have a guy from the country of Switzerland named Arnold Gerjaj, a 39-year-old man known as the Cobra, won the WBF World Heavyweight title last year ago by split decision, and it shows the rankings of champions. But what happened to the WBA? Everything else, guys, now we have the WBO, IBF, and WBC. I don't get it. Still, the TJ Doheny fight and Naoya Inoue is going to be a factor fight on September the 3rd. Doheny has been undefeated in Japan, so it's going to be a doozy of a fight to talk about. But also, guys, I will say this, though. What about Clarissa Shields? Where's she going to go after all this? Well, technically, guys, after her championship win, they're still thinking that she should go to MMA. Who knows? Also, Don King is going to be in another promotion fight back in JLI, Miami on September the 28th with WBC World Cruiserweight Champion Ryan Rozicki and Norair Mekauijan. So that would be an interesting pay-per-view fight to celebrate his 50th anniversary Rumble in the Jungle. Hope it'll be better than the Michael Hunter and Cassius Chaney fight. And also, guys, I do like to point this out, as if I forget or not, September the 9th, the 7th, we have a knockout CP Freshmart, a WBA heavyweight champion, fighting against Alex Winwood. But considering he's been out boxing for 2 years, I think Alex Winwood might win because Freshmart is going to fight in the minimum weight, as he's been fighting ever since for now 12 years, and he's going to go to Alex's backyard and fight him. I think Alex Winwood might win that fight, but who knows? But yeah, guys, I'm questioning, guys. I tried to type on Wikipedia of the world champions, and I'm going to type in right now, WBO World Championship Wikipedia, WBO list of WBA is what I meant to say. So information. So, guys, to be honest, so online, all the list of world champions still proves, it still shows all the champions. It still shows Muslim Gajimadov, still a WBA Bridgeweight title champion. Alexander Usyk, still champion. Yeah. I don't get it. What is going on out there in the world today right now? January, we had, Freshmart again. So I'm a little bit questioning of what's happening right now because of this. Yeah, I don't understand, guys. if people have ideas of why BoxRec is actually blocking all the WBA championships, not just the regulars, but the super champions and the gold champions, let me know in the comments. So, guys, the second topic I like to talk about, guys, I think NASCAR is a good thing. Now, guys, I haven't watched the Indianapolis race. Technically, I haven't watched any interesting races for a while, and I thought to myself, maybe I'll go watch the Richmond race because I'm thinking to myself, well, whoever's going to win the gold medal, it might as well be USA because USA and China tied for the most gold medals, 40 gold medals in total, but America scored a lot more silvers and bronze, more than any other country, so they were the top medal out there. Yeah, I feel bad. Guys, I wish China won, but my point is, I was thinking to myself, you know what? Let's see in NASCAR if Daniel Suarez will win the medal for Mexico in this race. But of course, guys, when watching the race that day, I was coming out at the time. I was watching the last 50 or so laps when out of nowhere I was looking at Austin Dillon, 32nd in the point standings. I look at him and he's passing Denny Hamlin. And I'm like, dude, what the heck? He passes him with 30 laps to go. And guys, I'm going to make another podcast of a full documentary history about Austin Dillon, but still, he comes out, it's crazy. And it's crazy because my father's even yelling like a fucking retard. I got to kill him. Sorry. But yeah, he comes out with 2 laps to go down the front stretch. And for what reason, Ricky Stenhouse decides to spin Ryan Preece. For reasons why, we'll never know. Because, guys, I've been trying to find interviews or post-race interviews or people interviewing Ricky Stenhouse. But I think Ricky Stenhouse is walking out of the building because of what he done. And to this day, we still haven't found interviews. I've been making comments on the Iceberg, Slap Shoes, Eric Estep, every single person in NASCAR, and none of them can't find information. No one's replying to me and all. For reasons why Ricky Stenhouse did it, I'll never know. But all we know is he comes out, he spins him, and brings out the caution. And now we have Joey Logano, Denny Hamlin. They're already in the championship right now. So there's no business. And at this moment, like, guys, Austin Dillon already has 2 top 10 finishes, and his average finish is over 23 after 22 races. Make it 23 races. But like, it's just really hard to see this happen to him. Like, he's having fluke wins in the Cup Series, and this, dude, he should have deserved this win. We come out, he messes up the restart. Logano passes him to the backstretch. They go by again, go to the front stretch. White flag comes out. They go back to the backstretch. 2 more turns to go, and, well, nowhere. He goes by and just bumps out Logano. And Denny Hamlin, for God knows why, because he had no business being there. He was already locked into the championship, but he goes by, and surprisingly, right there, Austin hooks Hamlin and hits the wall, and that's it. He wins the race. At this moment, he's celebrating with his baby, his born baby, and all his other friends, and Logano and Hamlin are not liking it. Hell, even Logano gets back in his car and scares Austin's children for no reason, and he gets fined and such, but yeah. And guess what? We come days later right now after all this, and like, hell, it's already Wednesday. Yeah, Wednesday the 14th. We're 3 days after this race, and YouTube channel Iceberg releases this video an hour ago. Like, now don't get me wrong. What Iceberg did say was he was right. Guys, like, don't get me wrong, guys. Like, he's not wrong when you're saying, oh, you're queering Denny Hamlin out and then you crash him, this or that. But, like, guys, I will say, though, guys, I'm not going to say that spinning someone out in the final lap is that bad. Like, yes, Iceberg did say it was borderline. He's not wrong. But yet again, guys, if you spin someone out going for the lead, at the end of the day, it's a self-policing matter. You spin someone out, well, guess what's going to happen next week? They might spin you out as well. And they're going to like, hey, if they're going to race me that way, I'll race them I'll race them next week the same way they did to me. That's the way it goes. This is like the 1991 Sonoma race. When Ricky Rudd spins out Davey Allison, he comes to the white flag, runs, and Allison's now in second place. And then he gets the checkered flag, black flag. He gets a lap down for spinning out Davey Allison. Why? Because there's no doubt, because Davey Allison was the son of royalty of the Allison family. And he got cost a win. It's one of the worst dumb calls in the history of NASCAR history. Dude, but you see a guy spinning two drivers trying to take the lead, he spins out Logano, no problem. Hamlin's trying to go for his next win again. Like, Austin Dillon is trying to fight for the playoffs here. Do you blame him for doing that? After having him now that Iceberg is telling us that Dillon is out of the playoffs, like the win stands, but he's not going to make it to the playoffs for what he did. I already replied to his comment saying, do you agree with the penalties of Austin Dillon and Joey Logano? Well, I agree with Joey Logano, but not Austin Dillon. I actually commented him saying, well, more NASCAR's dam of legitimacy for slap shoes here. Like, guys, this whole situation happened because of the playoffs. Guys, I did say in 2023 in a bunch of comments saying that the NASCAR playoffs is going to die in 2023 by the end of the season. They still have it. And why do I say that? Well, Kale, in 2004, they started the chase format when, by the season during 2003, Bill France Jr. left NASCAR, had his son, Brian France, taken over for him. But before he left, his high school friend Bob Latford passed away, the guy that created the points format that we all knew and loved back in 1975 to this year. So, yeah, at the end of the day, I just find so much problems here that they create this chase format because of Brian France. He created this slobber knocker fest. And by 2013, in the same race, Clint Boyer spin gates himself out to help Martin Truex Jr. make it to the chase for 12 drivers. He gets eliminated because of spin gate. And they give Jeff Gordon a chance to become the 13th driver because he didn't make it. So what did they do? Well, they created a new format, playoffs, 2014. Man, the first decade from 2004 to 2013, good job. Chase format was not that bad, but yeah, the playoffs is worse. You come 2014, and now we're 2023. We're one decade into we're 1 decade into that. We're 2 decades in to after 2004 when the whole system of this became a bullcrap. So I thought the system was gonna die. They still have the fucking playoffs, and that pisses me off to this day. For reasons why you have to penalize so much of giving, Austin Dillon was an underdog. He deserved to be in the playoffs for this, and you ruined him for this. Richard Childress Racing might not be that successful, and dude, can you imagine if we come to the round of 16 in Atlanta or any of the other races, and you'll see that Austin Dillon is getting some good positions, which we know he won't because he's not going to make it if he gets a lucky Daytona win next week. Dude, if he wins in Daytona in race 25, that would be awesome. But just imagine if he wins a Talladega race and just how unbelievable that was. And you're thinking, oh, great, if Austin Dillon was in the playoffs, we would have made it to the round of 8. Just goes to show you, it's BS to see this. This is why the NASCAR playoffs was the one that caused this. And I just feel bad, and just talking about it is so bad. 1 second, I gotta get a drink of water. So, yeah. Most importantly, I will say this, though. With everything going on right now in racing, like, yeah, going back and watching this race, you think to yourself, man, Austin Dillon deserved this win. He deserved the playoffs. And, guys, for reasons why. Guys, if people do have footage of Ricky Stenhouse or an interview from him, please let me know, because why do we not have footage or interviews or something to speak out? Because I click on videos on YouTube of Ricky Stenhouse interview in Richmond, nothing. So for reasons why we don't have anything for Ricky Stenhouse, I don't understand. It seems like Austin Dillon is such a victim, and just hearing this outright, guys, just imagine that all of this wouldn't have happened. And it did. It's such a ridiculous thing. And by the way, while looking it up, Austin Dillon was 26 in points. Now he's 31st in points. At this moment, guys, so you're telling me with Austin Dillon 31st in points with one win already in his first top 5 and his third top 10. We now have 12 drivers that have won a race this year, but Austin Dillon's the 13th and you're not counting him. So you're saying, so Martin Truex hasn't had a win. He's 8th place. Ty Gibbs, he's 11th. Bubba Wallace and Chris Buescher. So they're in the points in battle for the championship. That same thing for Ross Chastain. So we still have 5 drivers from Martin Truex in 8th, Ty Gibbs 11th, Wallace, Buescher, and Chastain 12th, 13th, and 14th. They're battling for a spot. It's ridiculous, and it's so upsetting that I just really hate this. Anyway. All right, so we're back from everything going on here. I will say this, though. If we get to see a interesting race in Michigan, it will be interesting. But, guys, a Daytona race on August the 24th will be one interesting race. But the Darlington race on September the 1st is also going to play a little bit of a factor because it's the final race of the regular season. So who knows if we get something done while the race goes on, because who knows? You can race whatever you can, but yet again, I think it's going to be really interesting because I do see some interesting races here, because the final 3 races are going to be really interesting to talk about because they're 400-mile races, except Darlington's a 500. So it's going to be interesting to see what happens while we move on to that. So, by the next topic, Shane Van Gisbergen, 2024 rookie driver, speeding out a few top 10s in oval tracks, comes to race 13 in Portland, Oregon, in a road course race, passes out Justin Allgaier in a restart to win his first race. But then come a week later in Sonoma in race 14, he backpedals, leading 32 laps in a 79-lap race to pick up his second win. And he was leading the race early too, but lost it, but got it back 11 laps later due to a restart after driver number 2 was Jesse Love was spun. And then he wins in Chicago in race 18. He hasn't been doing all great when it comes to road courses. It's even crazy that Shane Van Gisbergen lost the lead. After he led laps from lap 18, he lost in lap 19, but then another caution comes out with 3 laps to go, and he takes it away from Jesse Love, and other drivers pass him, and others he loses a bunch of positions, and Gisbergen gets the final laps, wins the race, gets his 3rd win this year, and for the last laps, like, it's funny of how any of this is just going crazy. Like, he's only had 5 top 5 finishes, 6 top 10s. He finished 3rd in Atlanta in the 2nd race. 4th race, he finished 6th. Went on to have some interesting top 20 positions, better than Howie Deegan, which I don't know why she's doing bad. He finished 4th in Indianapolis Xfinity race, so he's doing okay. But what makes this a problem is that, like I said, we have races in Michigan, Daytona, and Darlington. So the first race in the playoffs in race 24, which will also be races in Cup Series as well, will start in Atlanta. And then the second race in the first round will be Watkins Glen. Just imagine if Gisbergen wins that race, it's going to be a huge problem, because the next race will be in Bristol for the end of round 1, and the person that should have deserved to be in the next round is going to be taken away because of what Shane Van Gisbergen did. So you come to Kansas. So the second round, we start in Kansas. The second race in the second round will be Talladega. Who knows? And the final race in the second round is Charlotte road course. Just imagine if he wins that race too, he's going to make it to the round of 6 or round of 8. God knows what round of drivers are. I don't pay attention to much of Xfinity and truck drivers of who's in the round of what. But yeah, we get to the eliminator round with 4 more races left. And the final round the second final round, race 30, will be in Las Vegas, Homestead, and Martinsville. If Gisbergen recovers from that, barely, he'll get a shot for Phoenix in the final 4. But, dude, Gisbergen is not an oval race driver. He's like Marcus Ambrose, a guy that could win races in road courses. Like if I could look him up, like in 2011, Marcus Ambrose pulled out some crazy strings in his career. Because, guys, Marcus Ambrose is a driver that can squeak away dangerous competition. Marcus Ambrose is the first Australian driver to become a NASCAR Cup winner, even winning Xfinity races and such at his time. He's been great. Even his 5 Xfinity wins from 2008 to 2014, running part-time races at the time schedules, were 4 wins in Watkins Glen, 2008, 9, 10, and 14. In 2011, he won the Montreal race, the famous race in the circuit Gilles in Villeneuve, and how that race went on. But, dude, everything else with his career, he won on the race in Watkins Glen by that huge, horrific crash in the final lap. He battles in a battle for first place in the 2012 Watkins Glen race when he was battling in final positions with Brad Keselowski, the championship that year, and how they battled for final position there and how that race ended. Awesome. Yeah, it just goes to show you what crazy racing has done. He ran a couple more seasons doing some okay stuff. He got several top 10 finishes, and he even got a few interesting top 5 finishes during his final year in 2014. And those top 5 finishes were finishing 5th in Bristol, 5th in Martinsville, which is hilarious, and 2nd in Watkins Glen, of course. So surprising how he got those top 5s. But yeah, so yeah, not much of a career to talk about for Marcus Ambrose, but he did prove himself. But can you imagine? Like, guys, Shane Van Gisbergen, the first New Zealand driver to win a NASCAR race Cup Series, in his first ever start as a NASCAR driver since 1963, when Johnny Rutherford won the Daytona dual races that used to be points-paying races back then. How crazy is this? That Shane Van Gisbergen is... I just don't see him being a NASCAR Cup champion or even barely being an Xfinity champion, but due to the luck and the schedules that's racing this year, it's possible. At the end of the day, guys, I do see this being a little bit of a factor here, but even though he's 13th in the points, it's a problem. So, of course, I'm a little bit deterred by this. Who knows? Who knows? All right, so for the top competition, guys, I've been going online, ladies and gentlemen, promoting out my races live online ever since. What I did, guys, at the time, I went on to my YouTube studio at the time, scheduled at my race. So the upcoming race, guys, will be on August the 18th at 12 p.m. I linked out a bunch of links online by a bunch of VTubers from Shy Willy and other people, VTubers at the time. I actually went to all sources to promote my, not to promote my YouTube channel, but to promote my new series to get new fans to come in and watch my content. And yet again, it's been really interesting. So I'm really excited for the NASCAR Cup Series VTubers on my YouTube channel in 4 days. And I would highly suggest everyone in their living rooms and on their beds to pull up a chair and watch my NASCAR races. It's going to be exciting and it's going to be great. You're going to have NASCAR free racing in your living room, from simulation to all that's there, guys. I've been putting this out, ladies and gentlemen, and it's going to be interesting for all people out there to get to my NASCAR series. And it's going to be interesting, guys. I typed in my comment, and the comment is called NASCAR Race 1 Daytona VTubers with a link. So I've been posting out links from it ever since, ladies and gentlemen. It's been great. And so most importantly, it has been a little bit of a tough time, ladies and gentlemen. But yet again, it's going to be interesting. I've been posting out a bunch of them from all VTubers around the world, going down into their comments on streams and on live stream platforms to get to my content. And I'm releasing this footage for people to watch, not to watch my podcast, but to listen, because this topic will be great. Because, guys, by the end, on September the 22nd, one day during Sunday, the final day of TwitchCon, which is actually going to be the same day as TwitchCon on Sunday, coming to an end. It's going to be amazing, and it's going to be a great championship run. And you know what? I'm going to go to one comment and paste on. I'm going to call it VTubers Championship. Yes, NASCAR Race 1 Daytona VTubers Championship is what I meant to say. Sent. So I've been coming out and doing a little bit of an interesting job, and I've been putting them all around streaming platforms and such, and it's going to be great. It's going to be great content, and it's going to be really exciting to see some great competition of great driving, great stuff. And I highly suggest that you viewers should watch it. It's going to be great. And there's a lot, because like I said before, guys, we have a bunch of VTubers in competition for this race and 8 races of scheduled competition. It's going to be really successful. It's going to be really great, and I would highly suggest. I've been putting out millions of comments on all YouTube videos, and I have been doing it nonstop for everyone to click on my video. So what I want you viewers to do is this. You go out to my channel page, you go to my channel, you head on, find it, click onto my video. If you find the video NASCAR 2024 Cup Series VTubers, you just click on it. Click on the word notify me, so you'll know when the scheduled time is there. So it'll be on. You'll get the notification, so you'll know what time it is. And you'll get the race on, you'll watch it. It's going to be really fun, and it's going to be really great to see great competition, because with everything going on, I do have high hopes for this. I do have high hopes for this, that people are going to watch my content, and it's going to get me to a good chance of getting attention here. I want the most attention I do want, ladies and gentlemen, is content YouTubers to be at TwitchCon. I do want to get more attention, as more people will be announcing this. I'm announcing this on TwitchCon, so people will make sure about this. It has been hard for a while, but yet again, it's going to be really interesting as long as we get to that moment, because as of right now, there hasn't been a lot of stuff happening for a lot of people for the last few days. So I think it's going to have no problem. I've been putting out comments from other people like Cooksey, Rochan, Vishojo, and also other interesting great VTubers. So it's going to be interesting, from Iron Mouse to Japanese VTubers of Garagura, Yusapa Kora, Yusuase, and I've been putting this out a lot. Now, there's some people, VTubers, I do regret that I should have put in the running order. I've already recorded 4 of the races, ladies and gentlemen, and even though, like I said before, guys, the schedule, I do have my channel here so I can know what the schedule is. So the schedule of races, like I said before, Daytona will start on August the 18th. Come August the 22nd, we'll be in North Carolina. Like I said, the Daytona race will be in August the 18th. September the 1st will be the Las Vegas race. And Atlanta will be September the 8th. I'm already thinking about trying to record race 5 for Darlington, as long as we get some Queen racing. And Bristol will be race 6. September the 15th will be Darlington. Bristol will be race 6 on September the 20th, on the same day during the opening of TwitchCon on Friday. The next day, on Saturday the 21st of September, will be Texas, and the next day will be Talladega on the 22nd. So I will suggest for some people to be patient. It's going to be great. For the next 1 month, you're going to see 8 grueling races. I was thinking about trying to schedule this a little bit sooner, but it's too late for that. So with everything going on, I do have a sense of feeling that this is going to bring in great stuff here, because while trying to, with everything going on, it's going to be interesting to, well, how do I put this? It's going to be interesting while, well, again, I really can't say otherwise. For some reason, I wouldn't really say that there's going to be a lot of success here, but if I could get, I do expect to get a couple thousand views in every video. I do expect to get a couple thousand views from every video, and titling out everything else here. So it's going to be great to see what will happen as time goes on, because there will be some interesting stuff that we're gonna see here, and even though we do have some interesting mobility when it comes to mostly tough live action racing here, most of the time, guys, there will be some interesting stuff, because I am considering this whole series to happen. So I will say, though, there's going to be some interesting things that I will point this out. Now, as the racing goes, guys, to be honest, I will say that there is going to be some tough competition. Tough competition, to say the least, because, guys, with everything going on, I will say this, though. I will say this one more thing. With everything going on, there will be some moments that might bring interesting racing along. So, guys, I've been putting this out for a while, but I did some practice races at the time, simulations to see what would happen. And I will say this, though, there were some races that did have problems with causing DNF cautions and other problems at the time when I was trying to get this underway. But I did manage to resort less cautions. Like, it doesn't mean that there is going to be cautions, but not overdoing. So I do want everyone to know that as we're watching this. So keep that in mind. With everything going on, guys, I've been on the downward spiral for the last couple years. And it's great that we have... It's great that we're having great full competition. Full-on competition. No strings attached. This will be it. So at the same time, guys, even though it's a simulation thing, I will say that there is going to be some interesting factors into World Series that comes into this. Now, even though auto racing might not be in the entertaining side as if, but there will be times that I am going to try to convince a lot of people, because there is some people that I do suggest a lot of people should come and see what happens. Like I said before, I've gone to Twitch streams and other places around the platform, and I've been putting out good numbers of people to come. So I think I have a great, successful group of a bunch of people that can support this whole content. And so when it's over, it's going to be a great successfulness. So all I can say, guys, is that while we already have, even though we have a bunch of VTubers performing, and there's barely few guys in the racing series, but I do want to make it as interesting as possible. I like to point this out. There are some VTubers that might be upset that they might not have a fast car. So, for instance, even though there are going to be drivers with the same amount of running, it's going to be sort of like racing like your Jeff Gordon. So, like I said before, Gara Gura is in the 24 car, Jeff Gordon car, so she might have a fast car. Annie is in the 8 car with Dale Jr., Jimmy Johnson's 48 car is Lena, and also mostly Tony Stewart's Shy Lily car in the 20, so in the Home Depot. So I think people do have to be careful. While there will be some interesting things going on, I wouldn't really expect nothing crazy to happen. But if time goes on, then we'll see what happens. So, yeah, that's all I have to say, guys. I'm just running out of ideas, guys. I guess that's the end of the podcast. Hope you viewers enjoy this video. I highly suggest a bunch of people to come down and support this. Like I said before, guys, this will be my final information. I announce everyone to come to watch NASCAR Daytona on August the 18th on my YouTube channel for the NASCAR inaugural NASCAR Cup Series of VTubers competing against each other. with 8 races of competition, we're going to see who will be the inaugural championship winner. So with that being said, guys, thanks for watching this video. Thanks for watching this full 40-minute podcast. And the Fox Wolf says, out.